Night out on the town, just doing my thing. Grab your purses in your clutches, ain't worried about a thing. When you see your girl coming, tell your homie girl, hey, we ain't worried about nothing. Move your body, boy, sway. Body looking like fine wine, tryna have a good time. We out here tryna go off, show off, blowing off some steam. After working a 9-to-5 dream. Sometimes you gotta let loose, move your body smooth, shape butter, fruit juice. You gotta get down sometimes. I'm here for it, move yourself, grind. You see your haters in the back, leave them on the wall.
Hello everyone, welcome to Dupardology. I am Reggie Dupard.
And I'm LACHANDA Dupard, and we're here to talk about everything love, life,
marriage, and family. First of all, I just want to share, I'm a certified conflict resolution mediator.
And I'm a certified life coach, and we're here to share more about who we're trying to reach, which is the young people of today, families, marriages, couples, relationships. We got a lot to talk about. We got 30 years in this thing, plus we got 2 grown kids, and we've got a lot of parenting things we can talk about.
And also, we want to talk about the why. And for me, the why is, I must say, my dad was very, very instrumental in my life. And growing up, of course, I grew up in the Magnolia Project as a kid. Later moved out of the project thanks to my pops, who had a vision to get us out the project. And so one thing that I did notice and why who I am the man that I am, my dad had the garden, and because of my father, our neighborhood was not a food desert. He gave vegetables to everyone. And matter of fact, when he died, my neighbor came up to me and said, because of my dad, she didn't have to buy vegetables for about 20 or 30 years.
Yes, and those shallots, I remember those shallots. Yes. Those shallots, he had the best shallots. We would go out into the garden and just pick them every time we would go visit and just eat them. I could just eat them by themselves.
Well, he had everything. And so that's why I do what I do. Now, LaChanda, I know you have your story, so why do you give back? Why you do what we do?
Yeah, I give back because I'm a product of divorce and got a lot of family drama across the world. Most of us do have some kind of drama. Right. But I did not come from a family that had a whole lot of what you had in your family, mom and dad. But my stepfather was a great man, and my biological, there's other stories. We'll be talking a whole lot more about the family dynamics in other episodes. But today we want to start with why we got together. How did we meet? And,
Well, the reason why, that's why we have on our colors. I attended John Curtis Christian School.
Oakland High School in the house.
We win state championships, of course, and the football had always been instrumental in my life, and I played football there. And so the way we met was we were invited to the high school all-star game.
So 1982?
In 1982, they had East-West all-star game, which was held in Lafayette, Louisiana.
And so the all-star game, that is where the seniors of that year, they choose all of the best athletes, best numbers, the best stats, and you all come together and we compete. So I was part of the girls' basketball team, but before I go into that, growing up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I went to school from kindergarten to high school there. Then my parents decided, without talking with us, we were going to move to Oberlin, Louisiana. This is it, Oberlin in the house. Right. Anyway, so going there actually made it better for me because I didn't have as many people to compete against in terms of growing up in Baton Rouge. Phenomenal athletes there. So there, my coach kind of helped me get to where I needed to be as an athlete. So, you grew up playing basketball all your life.
I grew up playing football, basketball, played all sports,
and football.
I'm from the city, of course, and you're a country girl. Now, whether you say you're from Baton Rouge or you live in Oberlin, I'm a city boy, and I met a country girl, and I like that about you.
Well, New Orleans people think that's city, but
I like that about my wife. Anyway. Has an innocence in that country, so. But we met, and to be honest with you, when we attended the All-Star game, I was there for football. I was there to play football. And I might just say she chose me.
So here's the thing. Girls, ladies, I even tell my daughters, go for what you want. Now, I didn't know all of this was going on because all I knew was puppy love. But going to that All-Star game, first of all, it taken me to my first college campus. It was amazing being there. And that's why we implant seeds of vision with our kids young so that they can actually grow those seeds. So my senior year, I'm there at the All-Star game, excited to be away. Reggie's there. And here's the thing. At the All-Star game, we come together to eat in the evenings. But The girls are in one dorm, the boys are in another dorm. Everybody does their prospective sports and practices throughout the day. In the evening, we have breakfast and dinner together. So that one evening, I think it was our first night there, and we went into the cafeteria to eat. So Reggie is standing in line. I didn't know him.
Let me just cut you off now, because people are looking at me, and I know what you're going to say. But I was, I lifted weights, and maybe you were attracted to some things.
Absolutely. But he's in his 50s now. He's still a great product of an athlete. However,
I'm not that guy I used to be.
No, you are not. But that's okay. That's okay. We
None of us are what we used to be.
But actually, I get better with
time.
But
we didn't share. Listen to me. We didn't share about what you look like now.
Oh, that's true.
Talk about me.
Okay,
let me just lay out this thing. Now, something about her I was attracted to. She had a lot of energy, and very approachable.
I wasn't the best looking girl.
She had these big old glasses. She wore
tube socks,
long socks,
tomboy.
And now she had some nice legs. I did notice the legs. Well, you still have nice legs. I'm not gonna let that go. But and matter of fact, I had a friend. I'm gonna say it's Scott Bailey.
Do we have to go into all that? Scott, I'm gonna remember you about
But he
that
just
too.
said that he just questioned why I was talking.
Why
to
you were attracted to me?
Yeah, and to this day he denied it, but I know
it's
he
okay,
said.
Scott. We still good. You send me that coffee, I love it. Anyway, however, so we go in. I'm not the best looking girl, but this is what I tell ladies and girls: always possess that power inside of you. Even if you don't look the best, everybody's not a Tyra Banks, or everybody's not a whoever, y'all. Beyonce, that's who y'all young people look up to these days. No, we don't need the pictures. Anyway, so here's the thing. So when I walk into the cafeteria, my tube socks, my big thick glasses, and looking a hot mess, but thinking I'm the queen of everything in that cafeteria. So I walk into the line, and there stands this person. All I see is muscle from top to bottom, muscle. So my guy, Greg Babbitt,
he's from your high school. He played on the basketball team. Greg's Baggett. He played on the basketball team.
Greg played on the basketball team at Oberlin.
In Oberlin High School.
So he was the only one there that I knew, and we were both coming from Oberlin. I was like, Greg, you need to introduce me to this guy. He was like, what guy? I said, the guy standing in line right there. Go for what you want, ladies. It's okay. I don't know who made that whole old school rule about guys should approach you.
And let me just say this,
anyway.
and I won't cut you off long. But go for what you want, because a lot of guys, young ladies, they don't know what they want, and you have to show them. And from what I seen from LACHANDA, you got to show them that they need you, and that's what you basically did. And we'll go on in our story.
I took a chance.
As we got older, you came back and you were very aggressive.
I took a chance. I take risks. I'm a risk taker. Okay. It's okay with me in terms of relationships.
Go
so
ahead.
Here's the deal. Walk in line. I'm like, Greg. Greg goes, what guy? I said, the guy right there. He goes, do you know who that is? I said, I don't care who it is. I just needs to meet him. Okay? So please introduce me to the fella. Back then in the 80s, that's what we did. So he walks up and he's like, okay, but I don't know how this is going to go for you. I'm like, it don't matter. Let me handle it after you do the introduction. So he introduces me to Reggie, and Reggie's just so green. I mean, he's just so focused and, so serious. And I'm like, hi. And I'm all bubbly like I am today, and like he is today too a little bit. But that's what balances us off.
Amen.
And he's standing there. And so when Greg introduced me to you, what did you say?
Well, I was sort of taken back, and I was like, oh, well, what do these people want from me? And so he introduced us, and from there, you just proceeded to talk to me, and later on.
After we had dinner, we went for a walk.
Started coding. That's the word. Courting.
See, that's the New Orleans.
Courting. I can't pronounce a word. Courting, zinc, all that.
Anyway.
It runs together.
Yeah.
So you start courting me. We start courting. We walked. We held hands. And you was a little fast for me.
What do you mean fast? I wasn't no.
Well, we did walk. No, you wasn't inappropriate, but we walked.
What do you mean fast though?
You kissed me, LaChanda, the first day. The first day you kissed me.
All right,
you kissed
gave
me.
you a little kiss.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting that, but it worked out.
That's why you got to do what you do.
We still got how many years?
30-some years. Anyway.
30. It's 30.
30 plus.
Okay.
It'll be 31 this year,
right,
2021.
Right.
So we went for a walk, and we played our prospective games. At the end of the camp, we traded addresses, and we became
Pen
pen
pals.
pals.
Yes.
That's right, pen pals. Y'all don't do that today. Y'all all in DMs and on social media doing all that. We didn't have all those distractions, so we were to stay a little bit more focused. And after that, we just kind of went through our little place of keeping in touch.
We did.
I went to his house and visited him. He was going to SMU. He had gotten
I had signed with SMU, and in the fall, of course, everyone at the game. We had a lot of great football players. So I don't know why you chose me, because I was like, all these guys here, why me? You know, and so I ended up going to SMU. And
there were a plethora of men at this camp, and everybody back then really took care of themselves, and they really looked good. But I, to be honest with you, I was there for basketball as well, because I was trying to make moves to keep myself together, and I ended up going to USL.
You were going to USL.
You at Lafayette, so that's where we met, and that's where I ended up going to school. I played my one semester. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, the thing of it is, go for what you want. You know, Greg was kind of like, do you know who that is? I didn't know who. I knew he played something because we were all athletes, but I'm attracted to muscle. That is what I like. I like muscle. And for me, I do. Okay. And he was 100% muscle, y'all. I'm going to just tell you. Maybe one day we'll be able to show y'all a picture, but he was just so fine. And I'm just sitting there.
Nobody wants to see no picture, a 30, 40-year-old picture.
Yes, they do. Anybody wants to see that. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say here is that whatever you want in life, you have to go for it. Whether you think you're being, well, you got to have confidence for number one. You got to have confidence in what you believe and what you want. But mine came from a place of innocence. I had a boyfriend before, and that was okay. But I'm just saying, when I saw him, I'd never seen anybody with that kind of muscle before, and I knew that's what. Y'all know that old song, who's it? Diana Ross. I like muscle.
All right. Well, we don't want to talk about me anymore.
Okay. All right.
So,
anyway, no. At the end of the day, that's what it's about.
I always tell young people, you're gonna make mistakes in life, but try not to make mistakes that gonna cost you. And I tell my kids, I have 2 kids, Jonathan and Rachel, and don't make the same mistake twice. Okay, first time, okay, cool, but the second time, something wrong with you. You have a problem. So just try to do your best, because when you're young, people can tell you, don't do this, don't do that. And with me, I sort of, when I I was sort of, I guess, sheltered, if that's the right word
in
to
high
use.
school,
I was sheltered because I went to a private school, first black in my high school. So I was the only. I just had certain kind of friends. Everyone cared about you. Everybody loved me. And so when you go to college, then it's a whole different story, and that's where you're on your own. First of all,
absolutely.
And at the time, I'm at SMU, and going there, I guess I was well taken care of. And so with all of the different resources I had at SMU, well, you get all this attention, and I don't think it's always good to have all that attention at such a young age. And so learning, I made a lot of mistakes. And as a result, I can tell young people, and that's what we do now, we tell young people, don't make the mistakes we made. And,
that's right.
and the thing that we're very honest when we share our story.
Transparent.
And I'm very, my kids, and with today's kids, you have to be sort of they're kind of fragile a little bit.
Yeah, very sensitive. Our new kids are very sensitive.
And
they're not like we were when we grew up.
No, you got to be very careful how you say things. You don't want to offend them, So I try to stay and complying with their social and their emotional needs.
So when you got to SMU, you were a different person. You turned into a different person.
I thought I went there, and I went there with a different attitude. I went there to play football. My dad, of course, who was my role model and instrumental. Of course, I had 2 loving parents, but my dad was there. He wanted me to go there to graduate from college.
Right. That was the ultimate goal.
That was his goal.
But the things that happened before graduation, all of those things, I had to realize that he was this big athlete at SMU, and he was making a name for himself. So I couldn't sit back and be all jealous, and I'm in college trying to make things work for me and trying to keep tabs on him. So we agreed to
be friends.
We were like friends. And so whenever he would go through things with girls, he would call and say, man, guess what, I just did this. And I'm like, oh, man, you tripping. Why are you doing that? Right. At the same time, I had my little relationships where I had friends and I was doing things, so it wasn't like I was sitting on the
And you made
sideline.
mistakes too, didn't you?
What kind of mistakes?
I don't know, but sometimes you're perfect. So you did make a few mistakes.
Well, one thing I can say to our ladies, we can't always be out there. We were friends. We weren't like
Right,
dating. So
And
there
I
was no
cool.
commitment
I
at
was
the
cool. I
time.
was cool with that.
Right.
It was-
So,
we were cool
like you say,
that.
you learn from your mistakes.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
We all make mistakes.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's the thing: when you're in that situation, I wasn't trying to keep tabs on him and like, what you doing, and getting all jealous. You can't be in your feelings about that stuff. I knew his nose was wide open, so I had to accept the fact he was in that place where he.
I'm trying to see. Wait a minute, player. His nose wide open. What that
What
mean?
that boy? What you talking
Nose
about?
wide open. I thought I was just having fun. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you were nose wide open having fun. Y'all know what that is. He was doing his thing with girls and
Well, let me
partying
say this.
and
Well, hold on, ma'am. My focus, I made in my mind that my focus was going to be football and take care of my academics and stay in school. And so girls was always second. I may have had a friend, but I wasn't going to fall in love. That was my
well,
thing.
we know that's what I mean by nose wide open. So it wasn't like you were just loving one girl. You were loving all of the
Well,
girls.
let's not say. Well, look, I don't roll like that. We can't.
Okay.
Look, this is like personal stuff we talking about.
Okay,
here, Ms.
okay. I'm
Dupard.
just saying, we said we were going to be transparent,
What
right?
is wrong?
We said we were going to be transparent.
Yeah, we are transparent, but let me call out my own sin.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. My apologies. But I need
So,
you to speak on them.
but the
So
whole
anyway,
but
yeah.
the whole thing of it, we later went through some things, and then we connected, and I believe God allowed things to happen, and you'll be surprised how he put people together, and you say it had to be God.
Oh, it had to be God because
You
when you
had
look
to.
back at it, I
Yes.
was in Baton Rouge all of my schooling years. You were
Right.
in New
I went
Orleans.
to, and we may not have met because
We wouldn't have met.
I'm older than you. In
Yes.
Louisiana, I actually stayed back a year in the
Yes.
eighth grade to
Your mom
grow
kept
and
you
play
back
football.
a year because
Yes,
you wanted
play
to
football.
grow a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so had I not stayed back, we would never met. But God is an appointed time for everything. So you and I goes, and we go our separate ways. And so later we meet, come back, and you just tell them how you got back. You worked for MCI at the time. It was MCI.
Well, yeah, but yeah. So that's another. So we have a couple minutes left before we end this first segment.
Okay.
And basically, I accepted who he was, what he did. After college, he got drafted, and I moved to Chicago, where I lived and stayed there. And it was a wonderful experience because I got to grow as a person. My friends there really showed me a different way of being a woman, and it was just a whole different type of people there, which taught me how to really tap into myself. So even during that time frame, we always kept in touch. I mean, it would be glimpses of what.
And I like the way you transitioned to how you went to Chicago and your friends taught you a different way. Well, I thought personally, when you moved to Chicago and when you came and visited me, it was you were a different type
I was a different person.
And I didn't see that Louisiana innocence was kind of gone.
I know.
This used to be bright eyed, and then I meet this girl, and I'm like, well, she got a little hustle to look good.
I got a little hustle because I got tired of getting hustled, So at some point, ladies,
because
not
you
by
come and
you.
you just said that I transitioned to my friend. No, you was. I was like, wait a
Well,
minute.
I learned a different way, and I understood
and all I know
relationships.
and that person that I met, and I didn't say you did a lot. I didn't know what you was doing. That's none of your business, none of my business. But had we not found God in our lives,
Okay,
I
you're
don't
going
know
way ahead of
Well,
the
I
story.
have to go way ahead because we were talking about.
But we're talking about how we met right
how
now.
we-
So
how
the
we met.
moral of this particular
How
segment,
Chicago changed.
we can do another segment. on
Okay,
that, Brother
good. Okay,
Dupard.
we'll do second. I stayed the same.
Chicago, that is not true. I beg to differ on that one.
okay.
So at SMU, you were a changed man, and when you got drafted and went to New England, you were a completely different man. Now you still had that lovely, humble innocence about you that has never changed, and that's what I really love. So the point of this whole how we met, transition, and go through different stages in relationships. You accept the person for who they are in that phase of life, and then if there's some things that you might need to bring to their attention, because after you got drafted is when we really
kept in touch.
We kept in touch,
Yeah.
and then you made a decision to say, let's try this relationship.
And what happened?
So you chose me at that point.
Well, I did. Let me tell you, but you moved from Chicago back to Dallas, right?
Okay, yes.
And you because of even though you had an innocent as a young lady, you always went with what you wanted. You knew what you wanted in life.
And don't you think that
when you came back, we were friends.
Right.
We were still friends, but you sort of had this thing about, because I still thought I wanted to have all these different friends, and you was like, hold on.
Right. Go ahead.
He was like, hold on, player. You made it so that when we started being friends, you didn't want me talking to other people on the phone.
What? Oh no, I sure did not. No, because how you gonna be talking? How you gonna be talking to other people?
And you know, as we I think that's something we need to pick up on.
So we'll pick up on that on the next segment. The next segment. This is how we met. We gave y'all some snippets about what's gonna be coming.
And we're gonna tell the truth.
And we're gonna tell the truth. So we appreciate y'all for joining in with us so that we can share our story, our trials, our tribulations.
On the first episode of Dupardology. And we're gonna be wide open, stuff gonna lay on the table, and we're gonna try not to mention anyone's name, but our own names.
That's right.
Yeah, you know, so
and we will.
We thank you guys for coming in, listening to our story, and the topics that we're gonna discuss gonna be wide open. That's all I gotta say. Wide open.
Okay.
You know, only reason I'm gonna hold back is because I have my son and my daughter-in-law editing this for us, and so I don't want to. My kids don't need to know everything.
Well, they will know everything by the time we finish this, so it doesn't matter on this one, right?
Okay.
You know, we're transparent. They've heard all this stuff before when we did speaking. Anyway, so at the end of the day, that's how we met. Next segment, hope y'all will tune in to learn more about that next phase of life and how we handle it.
In Dupardology.
Yeah. Night out on the town, just doing my thing. Grab your purses in your clutches, ain't worried about a thing. When you see your girl coming, tell your homie girl, hey. We ain't worried about nothing. Move your body, boy, sway. Body looking like fine wine, tryna have a good time. We out here tryna go off, show off, blowing off some steam. After working a 9-to-5 dream. Sometimes you gotta let loose, move your body smooth, shape butter, fruit juice. You gotta get down sometimes. I'm here for move yourself grind. You see your haters in the back, leave them on the wall wave. Nobody gonna ruin our play. It's our day, do it our way. Night out on the town, just doing our thing. Grab your purses in your clutches, ain't worried about a thing. When you see your girl coming, tell your homie girl, hey. We ain't worried about nothing. Move your body, boy, sway. We going weekend long. Hey, we got a lot going on. Gotta function at Devon House, Gun House. If you ain't stingy, you can come along. Cause you ain't finna rush me home. Not how this past week has gone. See, I've been pressed. I can't take this mess. So let's get crazy. Can't no other thing save me. Got to show this place up. Grab your cup, bubbling like there ain't no dawn. Night out on the town, just doing my thing. Grab your purses in your clutches, ain't worried about a thing. When you see a girl coming, tell your homie girl, hey. We ain't worried about nothing. Move your body, boy, sway. So honey, get out your room. It'll still be there, just come through. You see more numbers, the better. But we'll party with or without ya. But while you pass up the skill, people looking real fine in your field. Got every type of person at this function. Run on up, girl, choose your option. Night out on the town, just doing my thing. Grab your purses in your clutches, ain't worried about a thing. When you see your girl coming, tell your homie girl, hey. We ain't worried about nothing. Move your body, boy, sway.